Thanks for stopping by. Unusual fact. Here's 11 things you need to know about the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus. There are two versions. The whole every flagship comes in two version thing reaches ridiculous heights with the S8. Literally. The standard version of the S8 has a 5.8-inch screen, while the S8 Plus has a, surely that's too big, 6.2-inch display. That means in terms of screen size, at least, the S8 Plus is actually a fair bit bigger than last year's ill-fated Galaxy Note 7 indeed. So is the regular S8. It might sound like Samsung's gone too far down the bigger is better route, but in dimension terms, they're actually not that vast. Both phones have a 18.5:9 display ratio, which makes them taller than the competition but keeps the width down. Plus, they're impressively thin. For comparison, the 6.2-inch S8 Plus is around the same height as the 5.5-inch iPhone 7 Plus, and considerably slimmer. Other than screen size, the only difference between the phones is that the S8 Plus gets a bigger battery. Oh, and the price. They're both beautifully curved. No, that's not the S8 Edge you're looking at above. It's the regular S8 because there's no Edge version, and those curved sides are instead present on both models of the phone. It's a sensible move because, price aside, we always preferred the Edge version of the S6 and S7. The Infinity Display, as Samsung terms it, wraps around the sides of the phone so it appears to trail off into nothingness. And the whole thing looks impossibly futuristic. From the front, the S8 and S8 Plus are almost entirely glass. The fingerprint sensor has been moved. More on that in just a moment. And there's no discernible border between bezel and screen. They look fantastic. The UK gets two colors at launch, Orchid Gray and Midnight Black, with Arctic Silver due to follow at a later date. All will still have a black front so as to keep the impression of it being all glass. They have superb screens. The S8 and S8 Plus both get 2K screens with 2960 by 1440 resolution. Samsung's leaving the 4K thing to Sony and its Xperia XZ Premium. There are still more than enough pixels for a great viewing experience though, and it's further helped by Samsung's usual AMOLED screen tech, which gives you great colors and brightness. What's more, the Samsung Galaxy S8 and Galaxy S8 Plus are also packing HDR. In fact, they're the first phones of any kind to be certified for HDR Mobile Premium, meaning they'll be expertly placed to showcase Netflix and Amazon Prime when they launch their respective mobile HDR streams. It's also an always-on display, so you get quick-glance access to notifications without needing to constantly tap the screen. There's no home button on the S8 and S8 Plus, or rather there is, but it's not a physical one. This is a big change for Samsung, which has always had that distinctive button down at the bottom of its phones, but this year it's instead gone for a software button built into the glass. It has haptic feedback, as on the iPhone, so that you know when you've pressed it. To make it all possible, Samsung's moved the fingerprint sensor around to the back of the phone, which is likely to be a Marmite decision. Some people hate rear fingerprint sensors, but on the plus side, they'll scan your eyes. Maybe it won't matter that the fingerprint sensor is now on the back because the eye scanning tech that first appeared in the Note 7 reappears here. The idea is that the S8 takes a few photos of your face, stores it in its memory, then recognizes you when you glance at the screen and pops into life. We loved it on the Note, and provided it works seamlessly here, it should massively reduce the number of times you need to use a fingerprint anyway. They come with a new friend called Bixby. Apple has Siri, Microsoft has Cortana, Amazon has Alexa, Google has Google, and now Samsung has Bixby. Yes, the S8 and S8 Plus come with a built-in digital assistant to answer every question and generally act as a digital lackey. Samsung clearly thinks this is a big deal because it's even given it a dedicated hardware button. What's more, it's designed to be a mobile-first thing, so that rather than just recognizing your voice, it also knows what you're looking at on the screen or through the camera. No, that's not in any way spooky and ripe for hacking. Samsung's TouchWiz skin returns here on top of Android 7.0 Nougat, together with a few tweaks. For instance, multi-window viewing works. They'll take amazing selfies. In many ways, the S8 is a vastly different phone to the S7, but strangely, the camera's not been changed that much at all. Or maybe it's not that strange. The S7's camera is easily one of the best out there, and Samsung didn't need to make huge changes to it. So unlike the LG G6, the Huawei P10, and the iPhone 7 Plus, there's no dual camera setup here. Instead, you get a 12-megapixel f1.7 sensor with optical image stabilization, just as we had on the S7. What is new, though, is the 3-shot burst image processing. The S8 and S8 Plus will actually take 3 photos every time you press the shutter button, then use 2 of them to reduce blur and noise in your shots. It's similar to what Huawei, for one, does with its second camera lens, but without some of the other benefits such as increased depth of field or zoom. The front camera has a spec bump. However, it's now an 8-megapixel f1.7 effort, up from 5 megapixels on the S7. And it comes with built-in stickers and filters straight out of Snapchat, plus what should be impressive auto-focusing abilities to make sure you and your mates are nicely in focus. They'll have plenty of power. We'd expect the Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus to launch with the new Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 processor, but instead, in the UK at least, there's an octa-core Exynos CPU inside them. It's well clocked, though, with 4 cores running at 2.3 GHz and 4 at 1.7 GHz, so we see no reason to suppose it won't handle everything you throw at it. You also get 4 GB of RAM, which isn't the most out there. The Huawei P10 Plus has 6 GB, and the Asus Zenfone R comes with 8 GB, for starters. But it should be plenty. There's only one size in terms of storage, 64 GB, with the ability to add up to 256 GB more via microSD. Battery life might be an issue, not in the way that the Note 7's was, hopefully, but in that the S8 has only a 3000 mAh cell. That's less than plenty of rivals, although it does at least have fast charging. The S8 Plus gets a bigger 3500 mAh cell, but then again it also has a bigger screen to power. It's also worth noting the Exynos chip's 10nm process should aid battery conservation. They'll turn into PCs. Loads of phones have tried to do the whole "I'm a phone, now I'm a PC" thing before, but the Samsung Galaxy S8 and S8 Plus might actually nail it. It's all thanks to the DeX Station, a little dock that you plonk your phone into, then hook up to a TV. It has 2 USB ports, Ethernet and HDMI, and once connected to a screen, it'll give you a Windows-style desktop with app launcher, taskbar, and so on. There's also Bluetooth, so you can hook up a mouse and keyboard. And that dock itself acts as a fast-charging port for the phone. It's all built around Android, obviously, but partnerships with Microsoft and Adobe should give you access to Office and the like. They have headphone sockets. Have we missed anything? Probably. Oh yeah, the S8 is waterproof to IP68, charges via USB-C, and has built-in wireless charging, and still has a headphone socket. But here's the catch, because the S8 and S8 Plus will be pretty expensive. The Galaxy S8 will set you back £689, and the Galaxy S8 Plus will cost you £779. That's considerably more than the S7, which was £570 or £640 for the Edge version. Blame the price hike on all that extra glass on the front, plus Brexit. Still, it's not vastly more than other flagship phones of its size. After all, the Huawei P10 costs £680 and the iPhone 7 Plus £720 for the 32GB model, rising to £819 for the 128GB version. And remember, the S8 comes with 64GB as standard. Thanks for watching Unusual Facts. Make sure you subscribe to get more unusual facts on all kinds of subjects.